A land where temples are robbed, where lives are threatened, and where Pokemon are brainwashed to forget their best friends. This is where we start our challenge. Dr. Sushi had already dominated Kanto with his team of Magikarps. It was time to show the world that it wasn't just Magikarp, but it was every fish that was special. These were all the fishes I could find. It looks a bit iffy, but this Pokédex entry literally says mudfish. We can only use fishy fusions to fight, and we're gonna fuse up a new party after every gym. No items or overleveling either, and with that being said, let's begin the fish lock. We start off by catching a mudkip in the secret river near Celadon. After stocking up on a few more fish, it's finally time to start fusing up our very first party. This guy, our loyal Magikarp fusion, has to be the very first member. And let's not forget the second most unappreciated fish. A few disappointing fusions later, and we see just how cute Murder can be. It evolves into a Swampster. Now fortunately for us, there are a ton of wild Pyukumuku around, and they have some of the coolest fusions ever. It's finally time to take the train to Goldenrod City, home to malls, the radio tower, and of course, the daycare. There's this suspicious bugger peeking into the nursery. Surely he must be up to something nefarious, right? We report him to the cops and do our good deed for the... Oh. We might have thrown an innocent man in prison. Damn, we've got to hide the evidence. To make our lie convincing, we steal the egg from the daycare. We can't make false accusations like that again. We use these builders who have unnecessarily cool Pokemon to train up our weak party. The secluded island right here grants us protect, and then we head on to the first gym. The normally normal type Whitney is now a fairy type trainer. The game expects us to be ultra OP at this point, and she's even got a legendary on her team. The only way we can win is with the cowardly toxic stalling tactic. Combined with the protect we found earlier, we breeze through. Fish is only weak to electric and grass, and this demon has a grass type move that hits multiple times, speed that lets it move like lightning, and it heals off the poison. It doesn't matter when it comes in, it always sweeps my entire team. We suffer loss after loss, and after 48 hours of despair, we finally find our savior. The Berry Master gives us a berry that I've never seen before. Custap basically guarantees that you move first, as long as your HP is low. So to make sure we move first, we enter the battle with low HP. The fight starts off normally, we set up our toxic spikes, and Pyukufisk is a champion. He baits out all the full restores, and he's just super tanky. They have no way to deal with him. She switches out to Sylvanie, and with our protect stalling, we're able to do some more damage and finish off her Clef Dash in the process. Now our starter, who was useless throughout the last run, really comes in clutch. He tanks a bunch of hits, his Rocky Helmet reflects a lot of damage, and he takes out 2 Pokemon by himself. And here's where the tactic comes into fruition. Thanks to the Custap, we're able to move first, and she's X4 weak to poison. Despite that though, she survives a Sludge Bomb. But Arceus is on our side, and she gets only 2 Bullet Seeds off. Then comes the next big threat. This thing has Levitate, so our spikes don't affect it. But we'd actually given Custap to 2 of our Pokemon. Pyukuma is able to get a Pain Split off. Pain Split equalizes our HP, and then she kills us, but we proc Innards out, which reflects the damage of the last blow. And since our HPs are equal, she dies as well. Blissey pops, and we get ourselves a hard-earned plain badge. It's time to fuse up a new team, and it was completely worth it, guys, because this fusion just looks awesome. This next one just looks like a Wailord was eaten, and it evolves into a bigger Wailord being eaten. We'll actually see a lot of whale bullying in these fusions. It's no wonder they're going extinct. We also get a Pukuster, an Octopus Swampert, and the fishiest fish you can ever imagine. There's this girl in Celadon who wants to make an omelette. We need to get rid of the evidence, so we let her scramble the stolen egg. This strange man shoves shelters down this hole. We force them to bite the Slowpoke's tails and save Azela Town from flooding. And with our new dive TM in hand, we're able to explore some more of the Sevi Islands. In Boone Island, we randomly find the next gym leader, Chuck, training under a waterfall. He immediately challenges us to our very first triple battle. This guy is like the opposite of Whitney. He has a type that's weak to us, and he even helps us out by killing his own Pokemon. Combined with our multi-hitting water moves and our god Pyukumuku who just will not die, this proves to be one of the easiest gym leader battles. We also gain access to a stormy section of the sea. After diving under, we're able to get what we needed all along. Lantern, which has Volt Absorb. Finally, we're able to deal with electric type moves. But that's not all. As we dive deeper, a sapphire gives us access to the deepest part of the cave. And there, we find the only legendary fish, Kyogre. We catch it handily, and Dr. Sushi is happily surfing along when we encounter a shiny Latios, guys. We toss our only quick ball and... well, we just caught a legendary that will make the run a lot easier, but that still sucks. This is our new team, but get ready to say a quick goodbye because in our fight with Kurt, most of his team just froze stiff before our Langer. It took out 4 of his Pokemon, and the rest of our party dealt with the last 2. This combination actually has some hidden lore behind it. We're gonna see a Tentacruel fusion later on. And basically what's happened is it's eaten the Wailord and it's taken over its brain like a parasite. What did I say about whales being the victims? We fuse up a few more awesome fishies. On the way to Violet City, this goon threatens us. Our money or our life. We've got 0 Pokédollars in the bank, so our life's literally on the line. Fortunately, we managed to win. And riding on the high of that near-death experience, we tackle Bell Tower. The pesky monks and Bellsprouts try to prevent us from getting to the top, so we sneak past them all. The treasure room has the most prized possessions. We've been short on cash this whole time. Surely it's not a crime if we borrow the statues, right? And anyway, these funds are going to be reinvested to elevate the underprivileged fishes. We should be good. And they probably don't need these old boots either. After sneaking out, this old man offers to erase our Pokemon's memories. What a scumbag. We ignore him and reach Faulkner, the bug-type trainer. Now, the last gym was way too easy. We don't want our fish to grow fat and lazy, so Dr. Sushi makes a painful decision. To only use his 3 weakest Pokemon against the bug-type trainer. Wailord learns Swords Dance, and you'd think it'd be pretty easy, but it's really slow. And we're only able to outspeed the Gyarados after a bunch of rock tombs. Shedrom can eat 2 hits because it has the Focus Sash item, and Bolt Strike is really scary. Fortunately, we've got a Volt Absorber on our team, and once we Toxic, we don't have to worry about the Focus Sash going off. Now, the other 2 die against this Herapom, but Wailord just dominates with clutch after clutch. With his rests, he's able to survive on red 2 times and completely stalls out the Toxic. And 4-Pert is the only thing that can do nothing against Wailord. We can set up our Swords Dances, and the silly goose switches out at the wrong moment. We survive at 2 HP, guys, and we're able to finish off this Yansect. Now we can get all our HP back, and he makes yet another silly move. He switches in to Beezor, allowing us to get an extra Rock Tomb off. We're not out of the woods yet though. We survive 1 Iron Head, and if he crits the Bullet Punch we lose, but we survive. And we're able to somehow eke out the win and get the Zephyr badge. The world opens up some more, and we can finally catch Staryu, which creates some awesome fusions. Elm bribes us with the Waterfall TM and tells us to catch Mewtwo. But that's a tale for later, as some more of the islands can now be visited. Chrono Island has some shady shit going on, and we're going to find out what. We stumble across Team Rocket, who's scheming with Team Plasma. Somewhere in Unova, the organization has genetically engineered a Genesect, which we happily claim as our own. We then meet the Allvine gym leader, the electric type Jasmine. It starts off as a single battle, which we almost win. But after the AI realizes it's about to get popped, for some reason it becomes a triple battle. The Berry Master saves us again, helping Quillery survive thanks to the Wakan Berry. We need ground to beat electric, and most of our team has an air balloon. With our multi-hitting moves, the balloons, and then Stunsire's Earthquake pops 66.6% of our team, with the rest being completely ineffective against Landfish. Normally I'd fast forward this bit, but this is our best ever team. Look at that. Magikarp removes all the seriousness from Kyogre. Mantine looks alright, but we get an origami Wailord. I've never seen something this unique. Pukupert, which is just an insane twist on Mega Swampert, and of course our sire, the king. A few fusions later, and it's time to catch most of the legendaries the game has to offer. A strange space rock, a Raikou that can flee while frozen, a telepathic cat, and a Hogia, which is basically just a Ho, all enter our party before we reach Claire, who's still a dragon type trainer. Now we've already got Blizzard, but wouldn't it be nice to have an ice move that always hits? We test out our 200 IQ at Game Corner, only to waste about 2 hours achieving absolutely nothing. Gambling's a crime somewhere. We have to settle for the inferior ice move. Now we see a theme. From now on, all Swampert fusions are gonna have monstrous attack stats, and it's gonna demolish everything it comes across. We don't even use Blizzard because Aurora Beam finishes 3 of her members. And then her triple fusion, Paldeatina, learns that you can't punch paper. There's a reason paper beats rock. And with his life orb, he learns the lesson the hard way by ultimately killing himself. Our new party has another possessed whale, which is definitely S tier. We can then start scaling the snowy mountain. It's a picturesque trek until we come across the demonic circle. You remember that weirdo, the guy who plugged the well with shelters? He did it because he wanted to see all the dogs and birds. And once we showed them to him, he gave us an azure flute. That flute materializes stairways to the heavens. Stairways which we use to encounter God himself. Morty the Uneventful pops before Lampert's waterfalls. And then we find the reason for all our crimes. Thievery, false accusations, sandcastle destruction. It was all for this boy right here. Only one who has an evil mind and a black soul can rescue him from his nightmare. We finally sink to the depths by brainwashing our Goldeen to forget its original trainer. They only have a 3-second memory, so it shouldn't matter. And with that final sin, Darkrai will finally meet us. We save the boy, but at the cost of our morality. Fortunately though, for the cheap rate of 5,000, we can just confess away all our sins. It's then time for the most frustrating ice hockey session in Pokemon. This is pretty much the only time in ice hockey where you want the defender to stop the ball, and it's pretty hard getting it exactly where you need, but we somehow get the ball in and face the final gym, the ghost expert Price. After proving to the world, again, that all you need is a mudfish in the rain, we earn our final badge. Now that we've dominated all the gyms in the world, there's only one thing left to do. The closing team will be all my favorite fusions. At Professor Oak's lab, Cynthia notices that there's something strange going on, and that it's happening in Mount Silver. Sook tags along, but he wants to one-up us. He wants to catch the Pokemon that's causing this. Sook gave us hell last time, and he was party to wiping our Goldeen's memories. Octister gets a shell smash off, which just makes it easy to sweep his team, but Sook predicts it. He roars us away into the worst possible combatant. Once Pukupert is in, all he has to do, especially with his choice band, is just waterfall away, finally paying Sook back for the pain and trouble he put us through last time. We get a brand new TM rock climb and are able to scale our way all the way up. But Cynthia's reached before us. She orders us to turn back. Who does she think we are? The King of Fishes faces the Queen of Sinnoh. And it's almost looking like it'll be a repeat of last time. She curses and our Pukupert manages to finish it off in one hit with one waterfall. But we've got to switch out. Unfortunately, Magikarp repeats his role as switch-in fodder. But that gives us a bunch of free ice beams and we get a convenient freeze off as well. Togekion is really tanky and all we can do is throw a bunch of origin pulses at it. So we get Starster in, which is able to Aqua Jet it and finish it in the rain. The other mon's frozen, so one Icicle Crash finishes it off. And Meowleon He's pretty scary with his thunders, but with Land Cruel and our god-given Volt Absorb, she can't do anything to us. She keeps mirror coating, and as long as we keep using Toxic, that mirror coat will never hit us. We get a free Toxic off on Vapor Chomp, who, unsurprisingly, finishes us off. Octister failed us last time, but this time he really comes through with his Shell Smash, and he sweeps the rest of our team. Cynthia has no choice but to let us through as we head on to our final greatest challenge. Claire must have released it when she lost to us. Triple Fusions get 3 attacks off for each of yours, and Pukupert can only get a single Earthquake off, which still does massive damage. In comes our starter with his 3 moves, and unfortunately, even with his Rocky Helmet, he can't do too much. But Land Cruel has Discharge, which is just enough to beat the Dialga 3rd of Paldeatina. We also get a Toxic off and stall a turn before fainting. Starster might have fainted, but Octister, yet again, comes in clutch with this Shell Smash and is able to finish off the god of space, time and antimatter. But surprisingly, it's not over just yet. Paldeatina's defeat opens up a portal that connects to somewhere. Cynthia heals up our party and we take the plunge. 3 years in the future, we're approached by none other than Gold. In one of the most meta twists in Pokemon, we are who we battle in Pokemon Gold. We've been suppressing our Magikarp for so long. It's finally time to let him evolve and learn his 4th move. After defeating our final challenge, a trainer who's as stoic as us, we're greeted with a final flash of white and then teleported into our comfy bed. This was an ordeal that tested types, abilities, fusions and moralities, but we were finally able to prove that if you mess with the fish, you get the fin.